Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show. On today's show, the DC FanDome lineup has been announced, and it looks like a celebration on infinite Earths. Disney is set to reboot The Rocketeer, and to be totally fair, I haven't the slightest idea what that means. And speaking of Disney, they also seem fine with abandoning one of the architects behind the greatest puppet show in history. Let's go.
And we are live.
Hey, Steve, what's happening?
Not much, man. I got a lot of news today. A lot of stuff dropped today.
Yeah.
Now we got trailers that dropped, news dropped, trailers for all kinds of good stuff. So, hopefully everybody got a chance to check those out. How's your day?
Pretty good. Checking those, like you said, checking those things out. There was the opening credits for Prodigy, which we'll probably end up talking about on Set to Stun next week. We got the two trailers for No Time to Die, which I'm sure Catherine is dying to talk about on Martini's Gadgets and Guns on Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, speaking of things that are going on our shows, I can't wait to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show again. I'm going to do it at midnight tonight.
Yeah, it's perfect time for it. Yeah, so I guess we can announce that Scotty will be co-hosting with Terje on the Cult Classic Movie Corner this Thursday. So looking forward to that and their talk about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, it should be fun. Like we do every day, please like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell, do all those things. We do like subscriptions are great, but your interaction with comments, liking, sharing, disliking, all of that stuff, leaving comments in the comments section, even after we air live, really helps the show grow and get out there. And we appreciate you doing that. Also, if you'd like to leave a tip with your comment or question, please do so. www.streamelements.com/phantasmagoriumshow/tip. Also, we have a website. On our website, we have our shows. We have some movie news. We also have a link to our audio-only podcast page where you can pick us up on the go if you'd like to take the Fantasmagorium show with you when you're out. We'd love to be your traveling companion. You can also pick up our merch, get shirts. There's new shirt designs, some mug designs. Pick yourself up a hoodie for this coming winter or fall season. www.phantasmagoriumshow.com/shop. All righty, Scott. I think with that out of the way, we can get back to the news.
Let's do it.
What's that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get this party started rightly.
So just right off the top, I didn't have a big story about this, but I did find this real quick. I'm sure there'll be write-ups. They're probably out now. I just didn't have them in time to get them in the show notes, but a reboot of Disney's The Rocketeer is in the works, titled The Return of the Rocketeer. David and Jessica Oyelowo will produce the film. Yeah. With David Oyelowo potentially starring as well, which is awesome. I think. I love that guy. I think he's a great actor. Even though his name is kind of hard to pronounce, his last name, he's an amazing actor, and he might be our new Rocketeer. What do you think about this, Scotty? I know you're a big Rocketeer fan.
Really? Okay,
I've heard.
Maybe, possibly. Hang on a second. Let me get my Cliff Secord out of the way.
I've heard tell.
So this is where, and I know this is me just being a victim of reading the headline and having opinions. Again, as you and I agree on so many things, you can't judge it until you've seen the thing.
Right. Well,
you have to. You have to, before you start reviewing, ranting, or raving, you have to see the thing. My concerns with the reboot of The Rocketeer Returns, and it was an excellent question that I heard in regards to this. Is the Rocketeer just a helmet and a jetpack? Or is it wrapped into the era in which the original was made, in the spirit of the comics? The original artist did base Jenny Blake on Betty Page. a very iconic character, perfectly brought to screen by Jennifer Connelly in the early 90s film.
I would take a little issue with that. I don't think it was perfectly brought to screen. I think
Okay.
Jennifer Connelly did an outstanding job, but I think in writing the transformation, the adaptation from the graphic novel or the comic book to the screen really dialed back that Betty Page persona in
Yes.
order to give you a more family friendly Rocketeer.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I would absolutely agree with that, just in terms of it did sort of make the oogling of Jenny Blake more a heel turn by Timothy Dalton's character
Right.
in that flick. And so I can understand. But also it being a Disney production, even back in the 90s, it was dialed back for family friendly audiences. It was also released at a time after the high wave and high praise of Batman and the slew of superhero movies that were coming out at the time. But
Right.
my concern with this is as to whether or not it will maintain the spirit of the Rocketeer, both comic and film, with Cliff Secord being a test pilot who finds it. The sidekick of Peavy is integral to it. If you just throw a helmet and a backpack or a jetpack on another character and say it's the Rocketeer, I suppose, and it is a new generation, and I'm, one of 70 people who really, really love the Rocketeer, maybe 75. But
Maybe.
it just makes me wonder whether this is the first news that I've seen of a reboot that really hits me in the solar plexus and says, yeah, they're just going to take anything and slap a label on it. And I hope that is not the case in this regard. I am optimistic.
I think that's going to be the case.
Well, and then
I mean, all indications are that somehow, right, this David Oyelowo's character will find, probably come upon or find the jetpack and the helmet, or it's, I don't know, somehow it's passed down through his family. Who knows? But somehow, some way, by some device, he will become into possession of these things, and through trial and tribulation will figure out how to use said jetpack and helmet and save the universe from Thanos or something like that.
Which is really frustrating because of the opportunity. Like you, I really like David Oyelowo.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I am just a mush-mouthed Caucasian. But I think that there are really interesting ways that you could do this in the era with an African-American Rocketeer. You can have the Rocketeer return and it be, say, one of the Tuskegee Airmen. And
sure.
And Jenny Blake.
And to be fair, we don't know that that's not going to happen.
Agreed.
To be fair, I have no idea what this is going to be. It seems like, because it's Disney, it just seems like they always take the path of least resistance and, slap, like you said, just kind of slap the name and the likeness over top of whatever, whatever they want to story they want to tell. I do have faith in I don't know his wife, Jessica Oyelowo, but I do have faith in him that hopefully David is going to take a more hands-on approach to the film, and maybe he does have a deal where he can actually, maybe it was his pitch all along, I don't know, but and maybe it'll be some kind of a good solid tie-in, and not just like, oh hey, it's 2022 and I found look what I found in the attic. But it's just all evidence has pointed to throughout the history of kind of these things this is how they're probably going to go.
Well, and as we were discussing on yesterday's show, when an actor steps into a role, obviously they have a responsibility to investment to portray the role, but it is just a job. However, when you are dealing with a writer, or in this case, a producing team,
right,
then there is a level of responsibility that is more than just let's throw it up like a hood ornament.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I look forward to the trailer, and I will find out when the movie arrives, whenever it arrives. This isn't the first time that The Rocketeer has been proposed to be reboot.
Right.
And so we'll see if it actually follows through. And, fingers crossed. I don't want a bad Rocketeer movie.
No, we want all these things to be good. I want everything to be good. So hopefully hopefully they have a good take on it, and I'm sure over the next coming weeks and months, we'll start getting some more information about directors, writers, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, another kind of off the top came this morning when the official Peacemaker Twitter account released the first poster for the upcoming show on HBO Max. It doesn't show much, but it suggests when we will be able to see some more teases from the upcoming spin-off series that takes place after the events of the Suicide Squad. And that is this poster from Peacemaker. Basically, he's got the car, got the old muscle car, the DC FanDome 1016. So obviously, we'll probably get a tease at FanDome. PSS MKR.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Throwing up the peace sign. So, all right. So that's coming. I thought that was interesting. So all these little tidbits of news today, just kind of popped.
Yeah.
And then kind of dovetailing with that, the Batman new trailer set for release in October.
It's been a year since Warner Brothers unveiled their incredible first trailer for the new reboot. We now know when we're going to see the new trailer for one of the most highly anticipated films currently in the works. The Batman released its first trailer during the DC FanDome event in August 2020 and immediately became one of the best trailers released that entire year, which was impressive given that the trailer was only based on the first few weeks of filming. And there was plenty more where that came from. Now Warner Brothers has announced the new Batman trailer, the Batman trailer released, revealing that our second look of footage from the film will arrive a little over a year after that initial trailer. Indeed, the Batman trailer. Batman trailer will be released on Saturday, October 16th during this year's DC FanDome event. The free virtual event begins streaming at 10 a.m. Pacific time, but we don't yet know exactly when the panel for The Batman and thus the new trailer will be dropping. During last year's inaugural DC FanDome event, director Matt Reeves took to the virtual stage to talk about his take on the character, which finds Robert Pattinson stepping into the lead role in a story that takes place in year 2 of Bruce Wayne being Batman.
And that was awesome. I thought they did a really good job at FanDome, and that particular segment was really tight. I like that one. So I would expect, not only will we get the new trailer, I suspect that Matt Reeves will do some kind of similar presentation, in anticipation of the film releasing. And speaking of that,
DC FanDome 2021 lineup will feature The Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, and more.
The streaming event is set for October 16th, which we just alluded to in our last piece. Get ready to head back to the virtual dome. DC FanDome is returning in October with a jam-packed lineup previewing upcoming superhero movies, TV shows, comics, games, and more. DC Entertainment's free digital comic convention released its full 2021 lineup Tuesday, along with details about the streaming event. Mark your calendars because DC FanDome will take place Saturday, October 16th, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. While details on which stars and creators participating in the panels will be announced at a later date, DC FanDome will feature programs for Aquaman, King of Atlantis, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Batman, Batman Cape Crusader, Batman Fear State, The Batman Fortnite, comic crossover. Wow. Bat Wheels, Batwoman, Black Adam, Black Manta, Catwoman, Hunted, DC League of Super Pets.
Oh, get out.
All right. Yeah, I know. I knew that was coming, though. We've seen some stills and stuff from that. I'm like, whatever.
Sure.
Legends of Tomorrow, Stargirl, DC Superhero Girls, DMZ, Doom Patrol, which is awesome, The Flash, both the film and the TV series, Gotham Knights, Harley Quinn, Injustice, an update on Milestone Universe, which is awesome. Milestone Comics is great. I do believe that we might even get a preview or some information about Shock. So we'll see about that. Naomi, Nubia and the Amazons, Peacemaker, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Supergirl, Superman and Lois, Sweet Tooth, Teen Titans Go. Sweet Tooth is one I need to catch up on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet. Teen Titans Go, Titans, which I am watching. It was good this season. A lot of people shit on this series, and I think it was that god awful fuck Batman thing, dude. But it was in context, it's really good, and the show is really good. Young Justice, Phantoms, Wonder Woman, Historia, Wonderful Women of the World, and more. Well, okay.
Alrighty then.
DC FanDome 2021 will stream at dcfandome.com. And will also be available to watch on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter in 12 languages. I'm not going to tell you which language. No, I can, I guess. Arabic, Brazilian, Portuguese, traditional Chinese, English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Polish, Russian, and Spanish. There will also be a kid-friendly DC Kids fandom for younger comic book fans happening at the same time over at dckidsfandom.com. Whoosh. All right. So that's a lot of stuff.
And that's going to be all over the entire weekend, I assume. Like, that is a lot.
I don't. Last time they did it in a day, and I think they'll probably keep it to the day.
Okay.
These are not live, so they're prepackaged, so they can just they can set them up and knock them down pretty quickly, like they did last time. And I like that pace for that one. And we weren't waiting, in between. What I do hope there was some featurette stuff that I really liked on the last FanDome.
Yes,
like the we talked about with Matt Reeves, those kind of featurettes. I hope they do more of that because those were really cool. Some of my favorite stuff was that, not just talking about these movies and TV shows. But yeah, it seems like and games. Anything stand out to you?
Standing out for me, I am interested to find out more about the Batman. I am looking forward to Black Manta. I'm looking Black Adam. I really want to see also with the new Shazam. That looks cool. Superman and Lois, I've been a big fan watching that one. Titans, I know it. Much like your Mad Men being on the list, Titans is on mine. I am looking forward to that. I'm surprised Gotham Knights. I've always been a fan of that particular property. I'm all over it just to see if there's anything that catches my fancy. But the only thing that I know that everyone's going to be like is Aquaman, King of Atlantis. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
That's the only one. And I know that Aquaman has his fans, and I know that Jason Momoa is a very charismatic actor, but Aquaman, no.
Well, I think Aquaman King of Atlantis is actually an animated TV series. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I think, is the movie.
See, and that's okay. Well, then the movie is the one that I don't Aquaman in general. I tried to muster up some enthusiasm for Aquaman, and I just haven't been able to find it.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I think Momoa played the character great. The movie's fine. It was a bonkers movie, but the movie was okay. I'm down to see another one.
Well, and the only thing that sort of jumps out is based on the critical response, or at least the audience response to Batwoman. They're making more. One of the things that was just recently announced is that they
Uh,
cast
uh,
their Poison Ivy.
yeah, I can't. Yeah, and
And
I
so,
can't believe it.
yeah,
Like
and
it's just like why? Like nobody's watching the show. It's completely in the toilet. The ratings, but they're keeping it going for I don't
tax
for
purposes.
reasons that but for corporate political reasons, I
Mm.
believe, which is not good because
Yeah.
there's other shows that deserve to be have a second, third, or fourth season that get the axe.
Mhm.
I hate that because that show is horrible,
I've
god
never
awful.
been able to follow it. I started into it, and then I've watched some videos that uh, are not the biggest fans, and it just becomes a cringe chuckle factory for me to see people tear it
the
apart.
The first season wasn't
Sometimes,
good, but
mm,
it was at least you could follow it.
mhm.
You can follow along. It was all right. I loved the I can't remember the actress's name. She came from Lost Girl, which was a fabulous series, Canadian series.
Mm.
But
Who played
um,
Batwoman?
no, not
Oh,
Ruby Rose. She played the sister, the
oh.
Alice.
Okay, yes,
Anyways, I wish I could pull her name. It's just not going to happen. But
fair enough.
she's great. She was great in the role. I liked Ruby Rose just fine in the role. I thought it was all right. I think it felt to me like even though it wasn't great, that it might be finding its footing.
Mhm.
And then the debacle happened and she left, and I I tried to watch season 2 and it was just I didn't know what the hell I was watching. I'm like, this is garbage.
Mhm.
Even worse garbage than the first season. So I'm just that shocks me that that's actually happening still. That should be
Well,
axed out of there.
it is just one little part of the fandom
Mm-hmm.
experience. It's not going to be a highlight, but it's just
No,
one of those things that made me go, "What?"
me too.
So,
Like, really? But then Supergirl. That I think hopefully that's winding down.
mhm.
That started off strong and got too political and just preachy and nonsensical. Um, but yeah, I kind of feel that way about most of the CW stuff. Like I tapped out of the Flash. I don't watch the Flash anymore. I liked Black Lightning for the
Yeah.
first couple seasons, but I kind of tapped out on that one too.
Hmm.
It's just yeah, rough. It's rough there. The only one that I'm still watching or I'm making a point to watch is Superman and Lois, which I
Hmm.
do like. It was really strong. I do. I did take a step backwards. I think when they brought Diggle um, in that a couple episodes ago. In
Hmm.
fact, I haven't watched it since, which might tell you something. Um, I haven't caught up. There's like 2 or 3 episodes I'm behind on.
Hmm.
That threw me. I'm like, oh man, this was so good, and now we have Diggle and what's happening here? So I don't know.
Well, it's really interesting because I've been following some people who are critiquing modern comics and some of the storytelling that has been released through modern comics, and it is sort of when you are dealing with the personal lives of superheroes, the way that Stan Lee introduced that into Marvel, making them grounded human characters,
Mm-hmm.
that is a compelling and interesting thing. But once you introduce the one sort of monkey in the wrench that makes everything go topsy turvy, after you've addressed that specific thing, how many more stories can you get out of it? And
Right.
that's the kind of thing with Superman and Lois that I thought was really, really interesting. But also, how long are we going to follow this sort of super heroic family ties before the storytelling itself starts to drift askew and not be as strong? And
Right.
so I haven't been bogged down by Superman and Lois. Nothing has shunned me away. But based on everything that's been happening in entertainment and how certain things are introduced with no real direction, just okay, we'll do this, and
Right.
there's no anticipation on the dismount and the landing.
Right.
So that's where I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and thankfully for me at least, Superman and Lois has not dropped
And
that shoe.
it hasn't dropped for me either. That the Diggle thing threw me a little bit, but
Mm,
I'll be catching up on that hopefully this week. And as far as I'm concerned, it's strong. I like the way that it's telling a more personal family story about, you know, what it's like you know, not only what it's like to be a superhero, but what's it like to be Superman and have children, teenage boys to be exact, and all the complications that come with that. And I think it's good. Does it meander a little bit every once in a while? But I mean, it's a pretty strong show, especially for a network broadcast TV show.
Of course, yes, agreed.
It's one of the stronger ones that have come out of that Berlanti-verse or Arrowverse. I do prefer the Berlanti stuff that's on HBO Max. I think it's way stronger. Doom Patrol, a bunch of other, you know, Titans and some of his other work. But yeah, Berlanti is just one of the premier producers in Hollywood these days, especially in TV. And his whole team actually is brilliant. Okay. Next up, Being James Bond, retrospective with Daniel Craig, to stream on Apple TV's app ahead of No Time to Die theatrical release.
Being James Bond from MGM will stream exclusively on the Apple TV app as a free rental ahead of the theatrical release of No Time to Die, the 25th installment of the storied franchise. The 45-minute retrospective features Daniel Craig reflecting on his 15 years playing Bond, with the never-before-seen archival footage from his oeuvre and conversation with 007 producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. It will be available for free to Apple TV customers in over 30 countries and regions from September 7th through October 7th. No Time to Die, Craig's last outing as Bond, will be released in theaters on September 30th in the UK through Universal Pictures International, and in the US on October 8th through MGM via United Artists Releasing. A lot of people have worked on 5 pictures with me, the actor tells Wilson and Broccoli in the film. I've loved every single second of these movies, and especially this one, because I got up every morning and I've had a chance to work with you guys, and that has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I am looking, I'm a sucker for these James Bond featurettes on the DVDs. I'm sure I'll be able to have access to this through, I have an iPad, so I will get this. And I am really looking forward to talking about it with Kat.
So right now, if you'd like to see the trailer for this, it's on our website.
Nice.
I posted, not only did I post the Bond's final trailer, domestic trailer, but the trailer for this Being James Bond is also there, along with some images and a couple posters too. So go to the Fantasmagoriumshow.com and check that out. And tune in tomorrow night for tomorrow night's Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns for more in-depth conversation about Being James Bond, because I'm sure you guys will talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cannot wait.
Yeah, you and Cap.
Next up, Ewan McGregor, Ethan Hawke, top line Raymond and Ray for Apple Studios.
Yeah, the film from producers Alfonso Cuarón, Bonnie Curtis, and Julie Lin will be written and directed by Rodrigo Garcia. Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke are set to star in Raymond and Ray for Apple Studios and Apple TV Plus. Rodrigo Garcia will write and direct a film about half-brothers Raymond McGregor and Ray Hawke, who have lived in the shadow of a terrible father. Somehow, they retain a sense of humor, and his funeral allows them to reinvent themselves with anger, pain, folly, and definitely grave digging.
Cool.
Right? Because I was like, wait, the grave digging, that's what gets you. That got me into the movie theater for sure. Hawke is also appearing in Marvel's Moon Knight series, and is coming off acclaim for co-writing, starring, and exec producing The Good Lord Bird, a Showtime limited series centered on abolitionist John Brown. The series was recently recognized by the American Film Institute, or AFI, as one of the best television programs of the year. I've heard a lot about this. I haven't seen it. I don't have Showtime, but I heard a lot about it. Birds of Prey star McGregor is set to don the Jedi Master's cloak once more for a Disney Plus series due in 2022. So yeah, not too much is known about this other than what we said. I just thought it was a cool piece of news we should put in and let everybody know that McGregor and Ethan Hawke are going to team up for an Apple's TV series, which sounds pretty cool.
Well, and I'm just a big fan of Ewan McGregor.
I'm sorry, I said series. It's a film. It's a film. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep interrupting you all day long. Sorry about that. But this is Apple Plus, and one of your big pet peeves about Apple films is there's no physical media releases, or there hasn't been many.
Well, and it has been pointed out to me that it is available for rental. It isn't necessary that I go for the monthly subscriptions. I can rent this when it comes out. And as I was mentioning, being a big fan of Ewan McGregor, I've liked most of the things that Ethan Hawke is in. In fact, he's one of those actors that when I do start to talk about, I don't really like Ethan Hawke. I can't point to anything that is like I don't like him. So maybe I'm just pushing back for no reason. But yeah, this sounds interesting. Just to have them playing the brothers, and also, did you hear about the grave digging?
Yes, I did.
I need to know what that's all about.
Let's go. Yeah, what is buried with Dad that we need to get out of there? So yeah, that seems interesting. That's I like it. I think both of them at Hawke more than Ewan McGregor, but I think Ethan Hawke is very selective about the pictures he chooses to star in. So good on him. I'll check it out for sure. Frank Oz, Disney doesn't want me, he says, involved with the Muppets, has taken soul out of franchise.
All right, Frank Oz. There's a demarcation line between the Jim Henson Muppets and the Disney Muppets. Frank Oz revealed in a new interview with The Guardian that he has not been involved with the Muppets over the last several years because Disney, which bought the rights to the franchise in 2004, is not interested in working with him. Oz, the iconic puppeteer and voice actor behind Yoda, and seriously, you're going to go with Yoda? He's a Muppet master, yo. He was Miss Piggy. He's Fozzie Bear, and you pick Yoda? Know your audience. Who wrote this? Anyway, moving on. Behind Yoda and the director of What About Bob? Okay, sure. And Little Shop of Horrors was a mainstay in the Muppets franchise as the voice of Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, Sam the Eagle, Animal, and Marvin Suggs in various films and television projects. I'd love to do the Muppets again, but Disney doesn't want me, and Sesame Street hasn't asked me for 10 years, Oz said. They don't want me because I won't follow orders, and I won't do the kind of Muppets they believe in. On Sesame Street, Oz voiced Bert, Grover, and Cookie Monster, but he no longer watches either franchise that he once called home, and he is blunt about the reason why. The soul's not there. The soul is what makes things grow and be funny. But I miss them and I love them. So I apologize for my tantrum, Steve. I know sometimes it's difficult to put up with me, but
so I just want to bring up a couple of other. Awesome, great. I think he's got a point, and Disney's been in the doghouse lately, and deservedly so. But I want to bring up some other movies that Frank Oz has directed because. Those don't really do his filmography justice. And I was just having a conversation with Ben from Cinema Gulp about this on Black Phillip Alvarez's channel on Friday. And he was talking about a movie called The Score that he likes so much. And I said, yeah, that's the one he did right after Bowfinger, right? So we forget about, so there's two: Score, Bowfinger. There's also The Dark Crystal. We said Little Shop of Horrors, but Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yes.
Which was awesome. What About Bob? House Sitter. Indian in the Cupboard, which is good. In and Out.
Yes.
And then The Stepford Wives. Oh, and Death at a Funeral.
Yep.
So, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up some of the better movies in his filmography and not just What About Bob and Little Shop of Horrors.
And Little Shop of Horrors and What About Bob aren't to be shaken a stick at.
No.
But yeah, you're right. In terms of his entire filmography, he's an accomplished director, and in terms of the heart and soul that has gone into the Muppets, and to a lesser extent, I think the Children's Television Workshop. I don't know if Sesame Street is a Disney joint. Probably.
Yeah,
But
probably. No.
it is disheartening that he hasn't been approached to at least advise or anything,
Right.
consult as to which directions they go. It's not just a matter of having the puppets make slapstick jokes and put them beside B-level celebrities. There is a heart to it, and that's the only thing that I can see as the positive of the acquisition of the Muppets under Disney was I liked Jason Segel's Muppet movie. I thought that one had more of the heart and the maybe not subversive, but the multi-layered humor that was suitable for both kids and adults. But Muppets Most Wanted was definitely a kids movie, which I think loses a lot of the flavor of the Muppets. There are not necessarily double entendres, but humor for all ages. And that means that if you're 7 years old, you're not going to get it. But if you're 28 years old, you're going to get it. And if you're 50 years old, you're going to get it. And so that, I think, has been truly missing. And to find out that he hasn't even been invited to the party because, he knows what's best for the Muppets and he won't bow down to the paycheck, I find that disheartening based on the corporate manipulation, if you'll allow me.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Well, my stars. I'm glad I wore a red shirt. You can't see my blood pressure. Anyway, Netflix acquires Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel from Legendary Pictures.
The sequel to Tobe Hooper's slasher classic stars is Elsie Fisher and Sarah Yarkin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know who Sarah Yarkin is, but Netflix is headed south for their newest horror venture and into legendary territory. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the streaming service has secured exclusive distribution rights to Legendary Pictures' The Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel, directed by David Blue Garcia. The film, which picks up where Tobe Hooper's 1974 classic left off, is the second team up for the streamer and Legendary after the release of Enola Holmes last year. Did you watch Enola Holmes, Scotty?
No,
I did.
I did not.
And it was really good.
Okay,
it was good. It had 11,
yes,
Millie Bobby Brown, and it had Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill was in it, and who was the other guy? Some other famous dude that I beyond me right now. Can't
probably played Watson.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And no, it was another. Yeah, it was another brother, I think. But the sequel,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, the sequel starring Elsie Fisher, Sarah Yarkin, Jacob Lattimore, and Mo Dunford is set years after the gory events of the original film in the timeline, where, disregarding the slasher's many sequels, the infamous killer Leatherface has not been seen or heard from since. No additional plot has been revealed. But with Garcia's work as a cinematographer on films like Blood Feast, the new sequel is sure to be just as bloody as the original. All right. I'm ready to go back to the Chainsaw Massacre stuff. I think, it did get, a bunch of sequels that didn't really live up, I don't think, to the original.
Don't you say an unkind word about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Oh, I won't.
Good.
I'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
But I'm down to check this out for Netflix. Netflix is hit and miss on their original movies. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. We don't know. This seems to be the trend in Hollywood over the past, several 5 years or so, maybe a little longer, to take and wash away all the sequels and do a direct sequel.
Yes.
after some time to kind of revitalize these franchises. So keeping true to form, this is what they're going to do with this one, but maybe it's a good thing.
Well, it's an interesting pivot just because we've sort of gone through the straight up reboot. And I know that Jessica
Yeah.
Biel was in the flat out reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've had the Jackie Earl Haley, Nightmare on Elm Street, the Rob Zombie Halloweens. I don't know who did Friday the 13th. And again, the rebooting, the reinvigoration, and then, okay, well, that either didn't stick or we don't want to move forward with those properties. So let's just make a sequel to the original and pretend that nothing else happened.
Right.
And it's worked with the productions on Halloween with the return of Jamie Lee Curtis. And I'm, you have me at the name Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I will check it out. But as it is going to Netflix, I wonder if it will be that sort of gory horror fest that I would want from something that says, Chainsaw Massacre in the title. Is it going to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or is it just going to be a guy waving around?
No, it might be.
It could be. I'm not discounting the possibility. It's just we will wait and see.
If his work on Blood Feast is any indication, then it will be a gore fest, which is probably what everybody wants to see from that kind of sequel, anyways.
Agreed.
Okay. Our last item up for bid today is Hunter Schafer, John Malkovich, Gemma Chan, and Sofia Boutella board neon horror pick Cuckoo.
Euphoria's Hunter Schafer, John Malkovich, Gemma Chan, and Sofia Boutella are headlining the neon horror feature Cuckoo, which Tillman Singer will write and direct. Neon is also financing the project with an eye to shoot in April. Cuckoo is Tillman's second movie following the supernatural horror film Luz, which debuted at the 2018 Berlin Film Festival and won special jury prize for Best Horror Film at a Fantastic Fest and Best Film at the Milan Film Festival. He's bringing his Luz team back together for Cuckoo, including DP Paul Faltz, composer Simon Waskow, and production designer Dario Mendez Acosta, which sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, good names, great actors, headlining this thing. So we'll look forward to that. And there's no more information than that for now. It's just the cast, which is a great cast, Gemma Chan's popping up all over the place. Loved her from Humans, BBC network, or BBC series, which was awesome. She was great in that, by the way. And, and she's in Eternals and she's in the Marvel stuff. Sofia Boutella popping up, she's staple. And then John Malkovich, obviously. Hunter Schafer is in Euphoria with Zendaya. So, nice she's getting some play there too. But we'll look forward to that too. Well, this sounds. I love the name Cuckoo, right? So I'm super jazzed to check that out too.
Well, and I'd like to, because considering that it is sort of the sophomore effort from his original film, I'd like to see Luz.
Yeah, I've never heard of the film until right now, so I'll look for that for sure. Luz.
And that's and if it's bringing back,
it won a crap ton of awards here, so it must be good.
Yeah, well, and I would hope so. And bringing that production team back, that means that they all work together, and maybe, considering their success the first time around, Cuckoo can not recapture but expand upon that success.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah.
Let's all go to. I don't know how much of it I can sing, so.
I don't know that kid. Well, I believe it's public domain, but it's definitely contested. So
okay.
All right, no super chats or super stickers today. So let's go over to the chat and see what everybody's talking about.
Ahoy, chat! How are you today?
What are the talking? Who's talking?
Turgey, hey Yanks and flappy heads.
Flappy heads.
That's me. I'm the flappy head. Turgey says, I ordered a cult classic movie corner mug. I'm such a narcissist.
Awesome.
Yes.
No, that's
yes,
cool.
you are.
Hello.
Says hello. I've decided to modify how I say your name because I'm going to say it the way that you say it. Darius Munchausen says, hail at the Fantasmagorium show. It's Steve Foley and at me.
Hail.
Thanks, Darius. Hail to you, too. And Darius continues doling out the hails with our Turgey and Todd Michael. Oh, Todd Michael's here. Fantastic. Turgey says to our Darius Munchausen, welcome to our little shop of hugs, not horror. Well, it depends. Todd Michael says, welcome to our and Darius Munchausen. Turgey says, I wasn't really excited for this version of Batman as I am no great fan of Sparkle Boy, but it's growing on me. I liked Cosmopolis, which was his Cronenberg flick. I don't necessarily dismiss Sparkle Boy right off the hop for being Sparkle Boy.
Dude, what he's done since Twilight is nothing short of outstanding work.
But the only thing that I found interesting in that article is calling the trailer for The Batman as one of the best trailers of the year. And I was like, was it though?
Yeah.
Was it really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Your mileage may vary, I suppose.
Yes. You know, objects in the mirror, maybe. Okay.
I love Momoa.
Well, I thought it said mimosas. I love mimosas.
I also do. Slice Knight says, I love the first Aquaman movie. Can't wait for the next one. And I'm, that's why I said I knew I was going to be sort of out on a limb there being like, meh. So
I didn't think it was a super strong movie. I thought it was a bonkers movie, but it, man, it made a lot of money. People dug it.
Yeah, so. True. Turgey says, admit it. You want more of him. Nice. That was good, actually. I really enjoyed that. Turgey says to Slice Knight, Aquaman really surprised me. Had no expectations, but it was fantastic. And Slice Knight says, I'm more excited for The Batman. Though.
Me too. And if early reactions are to be believed, I can't verify the authenticity of the poster, right? Who's the people that have seen the movie and posting about it? Mm-hmm. They said it's a straight up horror movie.
Cool.
And that sounds awesome to me. Yeah. Now, I don't know. So that means different things to different people, right? Mm-hmm. Horror, when you say horror movie. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds very interesting. I'm super excited for that.
Turgey says, I have a one-word review of the series Batwoman. Guana. Agree. Guana. Well, and from what I've seen, I can park in the same cave as you. Yes. Says Turgey, okay, I want so much Momora.
Yeah, right? All the Momoas. Let's see, you're just kind of going back and forth with smiley faces and stuff.
Hello, ahoy. Yeah. Turgey says, speaking of hunks and wantings, since watching Rocky Horror, I can't get touch me. I want to be dirty out of my head. Agreed.
That'll do it. That movie will definitely stick. Those tunes will stick in your head for a while.
I was mentioning to Steve just before the show today about a smoking hot Susan Sarandon. So I can, yes, I am looking forward to revisiting the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Turgey says, being Bond is going to be complete bullshit documentary. Craig has openly spoken about how hating the roles for years, even until enough green, broccoli, was coughed up. I highly doubt that will be covered. I think that this is a conversation that you guys should tune into on Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns. Yeah. As a little bit of a tease, though, I've seen some production, like vlogs or what have you, with Craig being really supportive and enthusiastic on set. I think that once you finish doing a James Bond movie and they say, okay, you got to get up early and do it again tomorrow, that's when he starts saying, how about you go F yourself? We'll call it square. I don't want to do this no more. I broke my leg. Get out of here.
Well,
He
you
did
can
say that
see.
he wanted to slash his wrists instead of making another movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just have to check out the trailer on our website and then check it out when it drops.
Says we don't see many movies about abolitionists. That is very, very true.
There are only a couple. Weird that, huh? It's not weird if you know the politics behind everything, but that's neither here nor that's not for this show.
Todd Michael. Oh no, Mom and Dad have to talk behind the scenes. Todd Michael says not a whole lot of films about abalone either.
That's right.
I don't know what that means. Turge says,
is abalone a fish? Abalone's a fish.
There we go. Turge, I had to Google those terms. # second language. Well, Turge, I have to Google them as well because I'm just a monkey idiot. Todd Michael says, SWAT, Philip Alvarez. And Todd Michael says, wow, Steve just said, what about Bob in a Greek Lakes accent? Trippy. I guess so.
I didn't know I was doing that. I don't think.
Just regional dialects come and go. Yeah. Who knows where they come from? Todd Michael says Sesame Street is not Disney. Henson refused to sell Sesame Street Muppets IP to Disney. It all went to the Children's Television Workshop, now Sesame Workshop. And that's what I was thinking as well. I don't, and with the Children's Television Workshop or Sesame Workshop, I don't know why there wouldn't be an involvement with Oz. Although as soon as Jim Henson died, I thought it would be kind of weird having Bert just wander around without Ernie. But then with Grover and Cookie Monster, I know far too much about the Muppets for a grown man. I'm sorry. Todd Michael says the Fantasmagorium show suitable for both kids and adults. Mostly.
See if you get the reference.
Turge says, I have no relationship whatsoever with the Muppets. Wasn't a thing here. We had a Norwegian adaptation called Sesame Station about some Muppets running a train station. Sounds, well, and that would be, see, and that's so interesting when you have different animated or voiced characters going to different regions. Like, I'm sure it's the same with The Simpsons. Homer Simpson doesn't sound like Homer Simpson in Norway.
Right.
Or maybe Homer Simpson doesn't sound like Homer Simpson in America or in Canada because it's in English. It's again, your mileage varies. Todd Michael says, what about the Texas Chainsaw Mascara? Asking for Felicia Jolly Goodfellow. That was the tie-in for the Jessica Biel, yes. Todd Michael says to Turge, CTW licensed it out and many countries did their own take on it that was more local, custom appropriate. Yeah, makes sense. And Todd Michael says some are drastically different from the source. Are you talking about the Rocketeer reboot? I doubt it, but anyway. Turge says, my favorite is Leather Elmo, the Sesame Street Massacre. Agreed. Oh, my God. Now I'm just imagining Elmo as Leatherface. It's actually rather entertaining in my brain. Sly Snide says to Turge, the Craig documentary was made almost 2 years ago. His biggest reservation about reprising the role was the injuries he kept getting. Yeah. And that's, that would be concerning, too. Turge says, damn, girl, I can just see those letters fly from Sly Snide with her lightning fast internet. It's true. Yeah. Congratulations on upgrading from the crank internet. I have to do that myself. Turge says to Sly Snide, don't get me wrong, I love Craig, but he needs to take some toughen up lessons from Tom Cruise.
I think you could say that about every actor in Tom Cruise, though.
Sly Snide says, I loved DC FanDome last year. It was a pleasant surprise. Looking forward to this year's. Yeah. Me too. It'll be a happening Saturday for this kid. Todd Michael says, the Fantasmagorium show and its subsidiaries do not condone feasting on blood. Mostly.
Well.
Sly Snide says to Turge, true, Tom Cruise is in a different stratosphere of dedication to his work. That it'd be a better world if everyone was dedicated on the job, whatever profession they may be. I want to make a Scientology joke, but I'm not going to.
But the Fantasmagorium does not condone jumping out of or onto helicopters that are moving.
or starring in Alex Kurtzman directed adaptations of classic Universal horror films.
Correct.
Although I'm sure he worked hard on it. Like
I'm
that,
sure.
that part is not in question. Turge says to Sly Snide, agreed. He might be a bit cocky, but I'll take it. I've always loved his work. Yeah. And again, he's in that category. I don't like Tom Cruise. Why? No reason. All right. Then you like Tom Cruise. Sorry. Todd Michael says, feeling a little gay for Turge? Check out Cult Classic Movie Corner on Thursdays here at this very channel, where we will be investigating the light over by the Frankenstein place.
Yep.
Sly Snide says, we may not condone feasting blood, but why not a martini instead every Wednesday night at 6 p.m.
Look
Pacific?
at you.
Look at you guys.
That's a good plug right there.
Oh, Darius Munchausen says to Sly Snide, we got a martini and a happy mail. I'm assuming it's just martinis, gadgets, and guns. I'm thinking it's James Bond, and thank you so much. Todd Michael, LOL at Sly Snide. I was trying to type up something for the other two shows, but you beat me to it. Well, then set to stun. Anyway, Todd Michael says they only come out at night. Mostly. Turge says the Fantasmagorium show and its subsidiaries do not condone enslaving mollusks. What use would you have with an enslaved mollusk? Todd Michael says, here's a deep Muppet Cup for you. Roosevelt Franklin. That is a deep cut on the Muppets. I'm not familiar with Roosevelt. Oh, wait, Roosevelt Franklin? Oh, I don't know. Is it maybe hanging out in the same universe as Prairie Dawn? If you wanted another one, I can only return it back. Todd Michael says, I wonder if Scotty has any body Thetan issues. I don't know. I haven't been audited as of yet.
Okay. Well, that's it for the chat today, dude.
All right, man.
I think we'll call it a day. Another tight little 1 hour show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good one. Lots of good movies, news and TV news, and lots of stuff dropped today. If you get a chance, go over to our website, check out some of the trailers. If not, obviously check them out on YouTube or wherever you get your trailers from. Bunch of cool stuff dropped. Yeah. Good stuff. Anything else to plug? We plugged these shows pretty well today, so we don't have to do much more of that. But Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns. I'm sure you and Kat will have a lot to say about the Bond news from today.
The Bond news from today, we'll be talking about our favorite James Bond villain lairs and bases. And we'll be doing our always entertaining, Kat does such a bang up job. We'll be reviewing You Only Live Twice, which I am looking forward to because it has Donald Pleasance. Anything with Donald Pleasance is a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turge says, also don't forget to catch Set to Stun, a show about Star Trek and a stunning Canadian. Two stunning Canadians, actually. Chandra and I are there.
Well, at least one stunning Canadian. The other
at least one. No, let's be fair. You're absolutely right.
I mean, come on. Let's not go overboard.
Well,
but go check out. We had a great show last night. Please check that out. It's on the channel right now. Let us know. We ranked the antagonists, all-time antagonists for Star Trek. So let us know your top 5 in the comment section of that video. We'd love to hear what your top 5 are.
It's kind of interesting too, just as a conversation between Chandra, Steve, and I. Not being as invested into new Trek. Chandra did play a Klingon on Discovery, and Steve has his opinions as well in terms of the Kurtzman, the bad reboot. And we have a pretty decent conversation trying to explore, and I think we each learned something last night. It was a learning show. So it's definitely an interesting time.
Yep. And with that, I got the gardener outside making all kinds of rackets. So
All right.
why don't we call it a day and get the hell out of here?
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right, we are going to leave you with the trailer for my new book. Please check that out if you haven't done so already, and you'd like a copy of the book. It's available on Amazon. The link in the description of the video, either in digital form or in the paperback version.
Mhm.
I am working on getting the audio version, audiobook out sometime, hopefully by the end of the week or next week. So be on the lookout for that. And I think that'll do it for us today, Scotty. So for Scotty R37, I am Steve Foley. Have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.